The 21st of July 2013 will mark the anniversary of death of 17-year-old Matthew Cryer. Matthew was unlawfully killed by doormen at Club Cocktails and Dreams on his first parent-free holiday to Zante, Laganes, a popular holiday destination amongst young groups. Almost 5 years on, Matthew's family are still awaiting closure in the form of justice. We sent a camera crew to visit Matthew's family in Sheffield to gain some information about the trial, their plans for the future and how they've dealt with the situation so far.
I mean, of course, we were worried when he was going away because it was the first time he'd been away on his own without us, and we worried that he'd get sunburn or he'd hire a bike, which I told him not to.
Well, I found out because I was in bed going to sleep. Then I heard a knock at the door, so I hung my head over the banister and looked at the bottom of the stairs. And I heard my mum scream, and then I heard the policewoman tell my mum about what happened to my brother.
I just thought I would tell you a little about Matthew. Matthew was my firstborn child and only son. He grew up into a young man and became a son I could be proud of. Instead of returning to us, his family, Matthew died on the island.
What they were saying, how he died, didn't weigh up.
No, we knew that it wasn't Matthew, although, yeah, he was 17 and he had started going out and he had started having a few drinks. We knew that he wouldn't get himself in that state and he wouldn't get himself so drunk that something had happened to him like that, and a verdict at the inquest of unlawful killing. It kind of justified things for us.
We sent a camera crew to speak to 18-year-old Ariel to gain an insight into party holidays. Ariel visited Malia, another popular party destination, last summer. Malia is also in Greece. We asked her how she stays safe on holiday.
I've been on one party holiday last year where I went with a friend to Malia for a week. When you're on holiday, you don't really think of anything like negative, like anything's going to happen to you. Hearing Matthew's story about him being in Greece, it does make you more aware that our authority compared to Greece's authority is totally different, as the bouncers and police over there handle things a lot different to what we do. Can't really say a situation like this can put you off going on holiday for the rest of your life, but it does make you more aware of what you're doing while you're out there. My advice would be, make sure you go with people you trust, that you know will always be there to help you and not leave you, and always watch what you're doing while you're there, and not to trust other people, and make sure you always keep your drinks to yourself.
At the moment we're on to his 6th investigating magistrate, which slows proceedings down, because every time we get a new magistrate it all has to start again.
We get quite a lot of support from the authorities here. The Derbyshire Police have been fantastic, and the Foreign Office, they weren't really that helpful at first, but they are more helpful these days, and they've kind of sent the ambassadors to the island to speak to the magistrate and things like that, so they've been more helpful than they used to be. But from the Greek authorities we've never had any support, we've never had any contact. We had to fight to get any documentation. It took us 3 years to get the kind of paperwork that they'd got together, and when we got it, it was rubbish what they'd sent us. For a long time we'd not had a legal representative on the island because our solicitors said it wasn't necessary, but recently they've had a change of heart. We've now got a legal representative on the island, and we're hoping with that the case will go forward. If we've got somebody there, that surely someday, it's nearly 5 years now, that somebody's going to take it forward, because we know a crime's been committed. We've got strong evidence.
It was as though he tried to grip the handrail.
One of the bouncers punched him in the face.
I didn't see anything to provoke it.
Nobody's ever been charged, and we're just hoping that sometime in the near future somebody will start taking it forward and doing some action on it, and we won't stop until that happens.
We're not giving up until we've got justice.
Check it out first. I would say avoid Greece, because whereas in Spain things like your bouncers and your health services are of a comparable standard to here, there are sometimes problems, but what we know in Greece is that the health service in Greece is very much underfunded. There isn't one on the things.
Two bouncers which are connected to Matthew's case were both Greek nationals.
We asked the family what they have done so far on their fight for justice.
Well, we've done a walk around London. We all wore these tops. We had a banner and boards, and then we walked to number 10 Downing Street and handed in a petition with how many signatures?
There's 12,000 signatures on it.
We interviewed Matthew's best friend Tobias, who was on holiday with Matthew at the time.
It was a very colourful bar, like flashing lights, and they were like, oh, we'll go in here because it looks nice, because it was like right high up and stuff like that, and I thought, oh, that looks alright.
But this proved to be a bad decision. Matthew became separated from his friends and was alone in the bar. The next day, Tobias had to identify Matthew's body.
I didn't know what to think, my mind were all over the place. I mean, obviously I'd just seen one of my good friends in a fridge, and I like, you know, like that feeling where you want to like cry but you can't because you're that nervous and you're that shook up by it. I was just like that, like my eyes were like right full of tears, but they just won't come out. Like I didn't know what to think.
If you are suffering with similar circumstances as seen on this programme, do not hesitate to visit the website or call the number on your screen now.
I'm not going to give up because I never will. It very much feels like if we don't do anything, this will eventually go away, and I think my message will always be, we will never go away.